Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 5 articles for you in this episode. All the URLs are listed in the description of the video for your convenience. The first one here is off of Truth in Action, and it's entitled, Details Emerge that FBI may have opened fire on Oregon rancher. That should be corrected to say Nevada rancher, but I digress. Here's how the article reads. It is clear from the helicopter footage that Finicum's murder was a setup of stopping the rancher protest in its tracks. The FBI would like to lay the responsibility of the shooting on the out-of-control local police, but there is new evidence pointing that the FBI and their crack marksmen. New details have emerged that an agent with the FBI's elite hostage rescue team may have opened fire on Robert Lavoy Finicum, one of the central players in an anti-government standoff in Oregon, after Finicum's truck crashed near a police roadblock. Several members of the FBI unit were present January the 26th when authorities attempted to stop 2 vehicles carrying leaders of the standoff away from their stronghold at a remote federal wildlife refuge. During the encounter, 2 Oregon state troopers shot and killed Finicum. 8 other people were arrested. Last week, Dutchess County Sheriff Shane Nelson, who is overseeing the investigation, said he had concluded that FBI HRT operators fired 2 shots as Mr. Finicum exited the truck and 1 shot hit the truck. Nelson accused the agents of failing to disclose their shots to our investigators. The FBI agents have denied firing assault rifles during the incident, but in a recent released interview, an Oregon State police officer told investigators that he spotted 2 copper-colored rifle casings near the spot where FBI agents were standing. The hostage rescue team has used copper-colored casings, former agents said. The Oregon State Police use only silver-colored casings. The copper casings were never recovered. Meanwhile, the Portland Oregonian reported Tuesday that FBI surveillance video taken after the shooting shows the agents searching the area with flashlights and huddling. One of them bends over twice and appears to be picking up something. On Wednesday, a law enforcement official confirmed the video account. If allegations of a cover-up are determined to be true, the incident would be hugely embarrassing to the FBI and deal a devastating blow to the FBI team's reputation. The hostage rescue team is a highly trained unit that was formed after the massacre at the Munich Olympics in 1972. Many operators were once in the U.S. military and served in the Joint Special Operations Command. Little is known about the operators involved in the Oregon standoff. An Oregon State trooper told investigators he wasn't sure whether they used their real names. An investigator described them as pretty mysterious. The FBI declined to comment Wednesday because of the ongoing investigation. Earlier this month, FBI Portland Special Agent in charge, Gregory T. Bretzing, said the questions of who fired these shots has not been resolved. The Office of the Inspector General for the Department of Justice is investigating the incident. The new information provides circumstantial evidence of possible misconduct, officials said, but it is not conclusive. It was not clear Wednesday whether the Inspector General had interviewed the operators involved in the Oregon shooting. The agents continue to work, but they cannot be deployed in situations that might require them to use their weapons. The American people generally accept that the FBI is a federal department that operates with integrity and honesty. The case of Lavoy Finicum raises real questions about the agency and its ability to operate as a national paramilitary organization without much oversight. In rural America, people are starting to question why the federal government, thousands of miles away in Washington, D.C., needs to exercise so much control and to commandeer and restrict so much land in the West. The death of Lavoy Finicum is being seen as a de facto execution designed to put the protesters in their place and to serve as an excuse to round up and incarcerate many of the ranchers. To date, there are at least 20 ranchers who have been jailed and who are being held indefinitely under sweeping and spurious charges that could represent decades in jail. A very good reason that the government and the Democrat Party is so anxious to implement severe gun control measures, the gun confiscation, because a weapon is the greatest equalizer when government oversteps its bounds and authority. Come to try that again. That it may come to that is uncertain, but the murder of LaVoy Finicum shows that the federal government is deadly serious in its desire to unrest the American people. In Finicum, the government, or the federal government, is very well could have just lit the fuse to greater and more widespread uprisings. The video of LaVoy's shooting here in this, if you want to. Haven't seen it, I can't imagine that that you haven't seen it, but there are still people that have not heard about this devastation that happened a little over a year ago. Travesty to our nation, as far as I'm concerned. The next article we have here is off of The Right to Bear, and it says, mother of two shoots at a woman trying to break in. A 30-year-old woman was injured when she tried to break into a Tulsa home through a child's bedroom window Friday afternoon. The homeowner, a mother of two, said she was trying to protect herself and her children when she shot at Heather Ward. According to local reports, the homeowner, who has not been publicly identified, retrieved a handgun when Ward shattered the child's bedroom window with a little after 2 p.m. The homeowner fired several shots at Ward, who then fled from the home, bloodied from the cuts from the broken window. Ward then tried unsuccessfully to break into several other homes in the neighborhood as police responded to frantic calls from the armed homeowner. Luz Vargas lives a few doors down from where the shooting occurred and told reporters Ward tried to break into her home after she was shot. Vargas said her daughter told her someone was knocking at the door, but when she went to answer it, there wasn't anybody there. Moments later, Vargas heard her dog barking in the backyard and soon thereafter saw Ward jumping over the fence. Vargas said nothing like this ever happened in their neighborhood before, but she's glad she taught her children not to answer the door to strangers. And I'm waiting for the hamster. Guy, he's being worked hard tonight. There we go. Ward also tried to break into a locked patrol car of the first responding officer, Corporal Wyatt Poth, said the officer parked and locked his car to search for Ward, but the officer apparently went one direction while Ward went the other. When Ward came to the patrol car, she tried to break in but was unsuccessful. Eventually, the officer caught up with Ward and placed her in custody. After receiving medical attention, she was booked into the Tulsa County Jail, where she was charged with first-degree burglary, attempted larceny of a vehicle, 2 counts of possession of a controlled drug, I'm not surprised, and resisting arrest. No one else was injured during the incident. Goodness, 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 goodness. The next one we have here, if we can get it to cooperate with me, it appears that it's got an ad here that I need to get to go away. Which is easier said than done, apparently. the Registered Guardian, and it says thousands of rounds of ammo stolen from Crater Lake Park. Someone has stolen thousands of rounds of ammunition from a locked building at the Crater Lake National Park. At the National Parks, and the National Park Service is asking for the public's help in finding the responsible. According to news released Friday from the Park Service, the rifle and pistol ammunition was stolen from a locked building in the park's headquarters area. The ammunition was used as part of the park's law enforcement program. Theft is a felony. Anyone with information that could help investigators is asked to contact the Investigative Service Branch by phone, text, website, email, or social media. Callers can remain anonymous, although investigators are offering up to $1,000 for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of whoever is responsible. The ISB tip line is 888-653-0009. Send a text to 202-379-4761. Reply online at www.nps.gov/ISP, or ISB, and click Submit a Tip, or send an email to nps_ISB@nps.gov. A message can be left by Facebook at Investigative Services NPS or Twitter to @Special Agent NPS. So there you have that. Thousands of rounds, huh? My. The next one's off of libertyheadlines.com, and it says 60 arrested across Southern California in immigration crackdown. This is off of CBS Los Angeles. Federal immigration officials say 60 people were arrested across the Southland over the past week during a crackdown targeting criminal aliens, entrants, and immigration fugitives. The arrest took place in 6 counties, what U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials described as a 5-day targeted enforcement operation that began Monday and wrapped up around noon on Friday. Of the 160 arrested, about 150 had criminal histories, while 5 more had either been previously deported or had final orders of removal. Many of those arrested had prior felony convictions for serious or violent offenses, including child sex crimes and assault. The arrestees, which were 95% male, included nationals from a dozen countries, according to ICE. Final article that I have for you is off of Western Journalism, and it says Mexico warns its citizens in America of new reality and to take precautions. The Mexican government issued a warning Friday for Mexican citizens living in the United States to take precautions after an undocumented mother was deported during a routine visit with immigration authorities. De Reyes was taken into custody Wednesday after a scheduled check-in with the Central Phoenix offices of Immigration and Customs Enforcement shortly after she was deported. The 36-year-old mother of 2 was arrested in Mesa, Arizona in 2008 when it was discovered she had used another person's social security number for employment. Garcia de Reyes had been living in the country since arriving in 1996 as an undocumented immigrant at the age of 14. Also undocumented. She was convicted of non-violent felony in 2009 for criminal impersonation. In 2013, a judge found Garcia de Reyes had no legal standing to remain in the country and issued a voluntary departure order instructing her to return to Mexico. Garcia de Reyes struck a deal with immigration authorities under the Obama administration. In order to remain in the country, she had to first check in, then every 6 months. Reyes followed the order diligently, but this week, when her routine appointment was due, she wasn't allowed to leave. Ibarra Maldonado, or that's not right, Maldonado, a Phoenix lawyer representing Reyes, believes her deportation has 100% to do with Trump's executive order. He filed documents pleading with ICE to allow Reyes to stay, but the efforts were unsuccessful. And there's video in this if you want to pull it up to watch it. Protesters tried to block the ICE van with Reyes inside as it tried to leave for Mexico, with one man even tying himself to the wheels of the vehicle. The attempt failed as immigration officials eventually left the grounds through another exit. Carlos Garcia, director of the group Zona, said other undocumented immigrants required to check in will most likely go into hiding as news of Reyes's fate becomes widespread. If, when people come to check in, they're going to get detained and deported. I would assume most people will not turn themselves in, Garcia said. Mexico Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a statement claiming Reyes' deportation was done in a dignified and safe manner. The entire Mexican community is invited to take precautions and stay in touch with your nearest consulate needed to cope with a situation of this kind, the statement said. Have work of protecting fellow nationals, foreseeing more severe immigration measures to be implemented by the authorities of this country. Relations to constitutional precepts during such operations and problems with due process. The ministry claims Reyes's outcome illustrates a new reality for the Mexican community living in the United States. Implementation of immigration and control measures. Under Trump, priority has been given to rooting out people with criminal records who are in the country illegally. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Friday that it completed a week-long enforcement surge and arrested 160 undocumented immigrants in Los Angeles, 150 which had criminal histories. So there you have that information. If I get more, I'll, of course, report to you today. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Share it on your social media so everybody gets to enjoy the news. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet so you stay informed.